can Barcelona return to the dominant force they once were? Well, I believe that there is a huge elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. But before I do, let me introduce you to a Barcelona admirer. I have to confess that I was seduced by the seductive charm of this rapid, precise, intricate, yet graceful, attractive, scintillating pass, always referred to by its technical terms, Tiki Taka. No, I'm absolutely sure, like me, 100%. Many of you are asking, where is this beautiful brand of football? Where has it gone? Why are the existing players not able to produce this quality? And it is because of several things, some of which you may already know and have discussed. But let me just expand a little on the bare essential. No, this is by no means an insult to your intelligence. I am just stating here my premise to reveal my conclusion. Players who are very proficient in operating in very tight spaces are essential to Barcelona playing style. Essentially, that skill is a quintessential part, absolutely necessary. The most important part of Tiki Taka. As we all know, some players just have an innate ability to operate in areas where there are little or no spaces. Where there is none, they just use that ability to create some. I have to say though that you either have it or you don't have it as it relates to playing for Barcelona. Respectfully, if Barcelona continue to use players that falls between these two extremes, they won't get that desired result that they're looking for. Neither will we see that beautiful football that we love so much. And so it begs the question then, did the upper echelon, the hierarchies of this organization, did they not know this? And if the answer to that is yes, then my question would be, then why sign players that do not fit into the system? Neither do they possess the skills required. Average players won't take Barcelona back to where they once were. You employed managers, some of whom are not well versed to Barcelona playing style, others who are not exponents of it, and then say to supporters that you're bringing back the glory days. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that does not connect together logically. The silver lining to this fiasco was the appointment of Joan Laporta, tasked with the responsibility of pulling this club out of this quagmire. He's not there yet, but he's well on his way. On the field, he appointed Xavi, who has the abstract concept of the blueprint of this beautiful game. And you don't need me to tell you that he was the linchpin of that golden generation. I'm sure you will agree with me that we saw tangible evidence of this on the field, sporadically, or in other words, periodically, occasionally. Of course, more needs to be done to aid consistency. Apart from signing better players in key areas, here are two areas that Xavi needs to address to take things to the next level. Please let me know if you agree or disagree. Number one, players selected for the starting 11 should only be based on merits, analytics, not emotions. You have to be rigid and regimented against the force of sentiments or emotions. Some of the best managers in the world are the ones that are able to do this. Xavi may have the gumption to do this, but this is extrapolated from what I saw. With the greatest amount of respect to Xavi and his tutelage, Ferran Torres, I saw no logical reason for him to be playing him continuously, although he's playing him in different positions. No, I did not say this to upset anyone, but if I did, my apology. I will briefly explain. I can assure you though that this was well intentioned. No, let me just borrow this phrase here for one moment. Now, starting Ferran in different positions is just like shifting around the deck chair on the Titanic. What difference does it make? Now again, I'm not singling out Ferran here, but this is just a microcosm of a bigger problem, which I'll point out in my second point. Now here's the thing. Ferran is limited by his underdeveloped skills. Playing him continuously will only frustrate him. Ferran cannot produce what is expected of him yet. You may say to me that he's there for tactical reasons. He finds space and creates opportunities for his teammates. And I would respond by saying that is only a facet of what is expected of a player playing in the final third. He's also expected to share the goal-scoring load. The record shows that prolific front threes were an integral part of Barcelona's success. Also for us, when the culmination of a beautiful period of play is a goal, it embellishes or decorates that moment. This is the match crowning glory. This is why we love the Tiki Taka so much. Number two. What are Barcelona's strategies to counteract stubborn defensive tactics? I just cannot understand why the idea of moving the ball quickly is touted as a counteractive measure. In my view, it is ill-conceived because of the team's lack of adeptness in keeping the ball. How are you going to move the ball quickly when you can't keep it in tight areas? Have you ever wondered why more teams are employing defensive tactics against Barcelona? They knew that Barcelona bites have no effect. They are toothlessly playing that way at the moment. In my view, an alternative way of playing is needed other than the 4-3-3 system when they do not have the personnel, especially when they're playing against a team that sits deep. So why do they play this way? Because they are tactically astute. They knew that this was the most effective method against Barcelona. More often than not, it got them the result that they needed. So they are essentially coming into these games with a game plan that actually works. Conversely, for Barcelona, the contrast is stark. They are coming into these games with a game plan that fails, although they had second-guessed what was coming. I don't know if they were expecting a different result from doing the same thing. I don't know. But what I do know is that it invites more teams to the party. Yes, it is incumbent upon Xavi to show that he can effectively use what is at his disposal. Bearing in mind that even if he has a skillful squad, injuries and suspensions will play their part in depleting it. And then what? The future is very bright. You know my views. But more importantly, what are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below. If this is what gets you going, then consider subscribing, because I can assure you there will be more for sure. See you soon.